The transition from teenage years and adolescent years I have found to be very difficult. In this time, you start to form your future for the rest of your life. With this being said, this is also a time where your career comes into play. Having to jump from miscellaneous jobs to start to develop a career for your future is something that I have found to be very challenging, not to have been taught the right way of professionalism in a high level career environment. This is one of my main struggles in my current life that I felt needed to be addressed. I feel like I have been blindsided by coming into a very professional working environment, having the feeling that people are walking all over you and holding back just because you are scared to speak to higher level people in the working environment. I have found a need to help prepare young adults to be professional in their starting career path. It is very essential to find the balance in the working field to be able to have a good balance of a younger and older working place. Having the younger learn from the older and being able to know that mistakes are going to happen and that the older working class needs to help younger class learn from their mistakes. Knowing that older people were in the same shoes that you are in when they first started is also important, so that way there's a low stress and calm environment because no matter how experienced people are, there's always room for improvement. Also to keep the culture a free spirit so that way no one gets beat down by no and think that they are worth nothing, making them quit the position. There are four main points that I believe will help form teenagers into the professional that they need to be to start off their career. Number one, the first concept is coming out of the nest. Having parents learn when it is time for their children to leave the nest so that way they can gain responsibility for things. Having younger adults learn by making mistakes and taking the responsible action for their mistakes. Between the teenage and adolescent years is when they need to start learning about financial skills, romantic relationships, friendships, emotional skills, working skills, and medical and self care. This will only make your children learn things. Secondly, things is to go and shadow different career paths. This will help young adults see how people interact, dress, talk, work, so that way they get that life will not be so blindsided um, in that stage of their life. Having the ability for young adults to be able to face the big picture and how the working force is different from the work they've been used to. Thirdly, articulation and resourcefulness. Teaching people to pitch themselves efficiently early in their working lives enables them to find employment on their own and over a lifetime. Having them be able to transfer skills from a non working environment to a working field so that way they know exactly what they are doing. Also, teaching them to be more solution based and making sure they do not get distracted easily by failure. This will help them become more self efficient, competitive, confident, and high level of motivation, making companies more willing to hire you and feel more comfortable to hire you. Fourthly, terminology and ambition, teaching young people to learn the language of a given workplace, industry, and or role is directly related to how smart they will sound and how well they will function in an environment and dramatically improve their chance of securing a position for them. This will make companies choose them because they need less time to be brought up to speed. Companies always are looking to hire people that have good attitude, who train for their skill, and people have the courage to learn. Having the passion to find a career opportunity that are more likely to have the attitude to achieve something um, in their company, showing that to this to your specific company, you can make a promise and have a more solid foundation than some other people that might not have those. To learn these four concepts as a teenager will better help you in the long run when you start off your career for your next future, from going into the teenage years into the adolescent years, where you actually are going to have to form a career for your future so you can start a family or do whatever you have planned in your own life for your next step. This is why I chose educational theory for my project. is because there are things that we need to be taught throughout our young years, so that way our professionalism is forming throughout your lifetime, and things will come more naturally when you are going into that transition and wanting to start your next career for the future. Also, to recap, um, this project is about teaching younger kids how to be responsible and more professional in their first career paths. And then there are four main points that I would like to bring up again. Coming out of the nest, shadowing, articulation, and resourcefulness, and terminologies and ambition. And this will all equal to a successful career that everybody is looking for their future. So their future is held in your hands of when you're younger and are still held when you get older.